this is teddygaming here, and welcome back to another review on the Batwoman Season 1, Episode 11. So in last review we saw Batman basically come out as a lesbian, and she stopped someone from taking over the city, and yeah. So, and also the last cliffhanger for the episode was seeing Beth, so we'll probably see that play out in this episode. So let's get into this one. Let's go! So I'll do this review in two different parts. The first part I'll do will be the flashbacks. So the flashbacks were basically, because it's all set around Kate's and Beth's birthday. So in the flashbacks, we see Mice giving Alice, no, Beth, a present, and it was a cat, and then the caterpillar, who's the man who's holding Beth captive, basically gives her a cake and asks her what the wish was, and she got a wish for her to see her family, but basically he says that if you say your wish out loud, then it won't come true. So then she's heartbroken by this. Then a few scenes later, like in the flashbacks, we see the caterpillar finding out the cat when he kills her, I guess. And when he finds the cape it gave it, and asks Beth, "Oh, was you the one who made this?" And then she doesn't reply, so he throws her book around, and tells Beth and shows her that basically the Canes have forgotten about Beth already, even though it's only been like a few months, maybe. So then, in the end, he tells her that basically she has to do the operation for the mice so that he can have a normalish life. So then Beth does the operation, she gets her butt back, and that's when she calls herself Alice and calls that guy Mouse. So it's an interesting part about the episode, but it does take away from the actual main story and the focus from it. But other than that, it was an okay bit. I don't think it was as strong as the last one, but I don't feel like they can do any more with the backstories as much as they could do if they would just say have it like do what Arrow did and have it over like like one season. So that's a little bit disappointing, but I can get behind it. But I do hope that I don't show any more flashbacks because it is really boring. So let's talk about the main part of this story. So Kate walks into the Manor and Wayne Enterprises, which is the same scene from the last episode, but this one we see expands a bit more. So she goes over to Beth. She starts trying to take off her face and starts strangling her. Beth gives her like the pepper spray eye, and that's it. She runs off. So then there's a whole different part of the story which I'll probably get into right about now. So the other bit about the episode which was Alice in prison with Sophie. Now this had nothing really interesting to do with the plot, but Alice made one request to get a book and Sophie gives her the book. I'll get back into more of that about a bit later. So meanwhile we got Kate comes to the Crows and asked her basically why is Alice being let free because she was just at Wayne Enterprises, and so says, oh no, she was here, and it's interesting. So then Kate goes to find out where the Beth was, which was at the Waffle Heart thing. So it's sort of a bit disappointing because we saw the scene play out in the early episodes, but this time, after they talk, they go to Kate's bar. They talk a bit more, and they talk about the differences from their world, and basically that in Beth's world, it was that Kate was the one pulled Beth out, and they both survived. So that was a very interesting thing to see. That basically, even though it was two completely different stories, it still had like the same outcome, but not really in a way. I don't know if I'm trying to explain this well, but This in the episode you understand what I mean. But then Kate runs off because she has to go do some Batwoman stuff. Because two men are being kidnapped by the mouse. Because the mouse wants Alice to be let free. So Batwoman goes after them, and but when she does, she gets hit by the mouse in her truck. The mouse steals a bike and Kate, and puts Kate's in a car and put gasoline on it. She rings up Sophie to ask for what do you call her, Alice to be let free. And then he gets Kate to tell her that basically you need to let her free, but somehow they have a code from the army, and it means don't let her go. So Beth back at Wayne Manor has a good idea to dress up as Alice to go and then go after the mouse. So she does this, but then the mouse finds out, and then she's gonna kill. Then he's gonna kill her, but he decides not to, and decides to put her in a car which she's burning. And so Kate escapes, gets the two boys out, and then also Beth. And I honestly thought that they were actually going to kill Beth. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, and it would have been interesting to see that. But at the same time, I think it's interesting to see how much they're going to go with this plot, where there's two different Alice's, no Beths. And so that's pretty much where the episode ends off. The last bit was both Beth and Alice having like headaches, and yeah. So overall, I did really enjoy this episode. Bad things we'll see back the flashbacks because they are so boring. Like, I mean, it wouldn't be so bad if we just had one episode dedicated to just the flashbacks, or even just have like film like everything with flashbacks, and then spread it out over the season. I don't think that would have been. I think that would be like a better way of going around it. But this way it's not working as much. Yeah. The good. And also, another thing I forgot to mention about the story was that they wanted to turn the backlight on, and because because the police aren't doing it, Kay goes dresses up as Batwoman and then comes down to the people. And this really annoys me. It's a Batwoman show, and there's only one scene with Batwoman in it, and which was like only a few seconds long. So that really annoyed me. Some good things was it's interesting how they're dealing with the crisis. But yeah, and yeah, so that's it for today, guys. If you like this one, please share, like, subscribe, and all that stuff. Goodbye, yo, bye.